All right, problems 13, 14, and 15. The directions state, in which quadrant does each angle lie? So before we actually jump into the problems, let's just do a quick refresher here on the quadrants. If I have my x-axis and my y-axis, quadrant 1 is in that top right, quadrant 2, top left, quadrant 3, bottom left, and quadrant 4 in the bottom right. So the first problem we're looking at here is number 13. It says that we have a 200-degree angle. So when we're talking degrees, we know that we start out at 0. A fourth of the way around the unit circle is 90 degrees. We're at 180 degrees. 270 degrees is 3/4 of the way, and then we get all the way back to the finish, and it's 360 degrees. So our 200-degree angle is obviously going to be more than 180 degrees, but less than the 270. So we should end up in quadrant number 3. So it'll probably be a little bit closer to the x-axis than the y-axis. It should open up and look something like that. So we end up in quadrant number 3. For the second one here, we've got 21 pi eighths. So that's an improper fraction. So if we took that here and turned it into like a mixed number, right, that's going to end up being 21 divided by 8 is 2 with 5 left over. So this is like 2 5/8 pi. Or we could read that as, 2 pi plus 5/8 pi. So when we're looking at that angle that would be formed here, when we're going around the unit circle there, right, we know that 2 pi would take us all the way around the circle once. So we've gone around the circle. That would, satisfy our 2 pi. We're thinking about the 5/8. So 5/8 is more than half, but less than a whole. Remember, if we got all the way to 3 pi, we'd be all the way over on this left side over here. So we've got to be less than that. So 5/8, if we took this top part and we broke it into eighths, right? I'm going to use a different color to kind of... So this would be like breaking it into half. And then if I broke it into fourths, all right? And we want to break it into eighths. And obviously this would be all the way there. So this would be like, 1/8. This would be like 2/8, 3/8. This would be 4/8. So 5/8 would be over here, right? So we go all the way around the circle for our 2 pi, and then it would get all the way past into that second quadrant to get our 2 5/8 pi, or 21 pi eighths there. So that one should be in quadrant number 2. If you're really stuck and can't figure it out, you can always try to convert it into degrees, and I think that some of us have a better understanding of degrees, and you could look at it that way. All right, so the third one, or the third problem here, number 15, says negative 11 pi fifths. So as we think about that number there, right, 11 fifths, improper fraction. If I turned it into, a mixed number here, we know that 5 goes into 11 twice, so we'd have a negative 2, and then would be 1 left over, 2 1/5 pi, which is like saying a negative 2 pi and a negative 1/5 pi. So as we look at that here, right, we're going in the negative direction on this one here. So we could already think about it as we've gone all the way around the circle there. That's our 2 pi. And then we're going to go 1/5 of a pi. So 1/5 of a pi isn't going to take us very much farther. So we should end up down here. Right? It doesn't even ask us to draw them. I'm just kind of trying to illustrate it for you. But this should end up down here in quadrant number 4. If you have questions about how to do those, please make sure you bring them to class. Usually that one is just more, do you understand fractions or not? All right, thanks for watching.